guys, and welcome back to the mid-game of Turn 11. Little special update for you guys. Big events in the Mediterranean. The French have broken their neutrality and have, well, I shouldn't say neutrality, but they have their quietness in the Mediterranean and have snuck out and attacked Spanish ships and even a German transport. The Spanish heavy cruiser, the Canaris, was sunk along with the Douro and a German transport operating out of the Adriatic Sea. They had just finished dropping troops over in Morocco and came to seek refuge in the port of Barcelona. However, the British had bombed the ports, the ships fled, only to be interdicted by the French light cruiser Marseille and the destroyer Le Fantastique, led by Admiral Darlan, and sunk. And it was a decisive victory. No casualties on the French side, and the Spanish fleet now is at the bottom of the Mediterranean. However, though, the British and remnants of the French fleet have left their port in Alexandria and have moved south down off to the Horn of Africa, only because the Japanese are probably going to be a bit of a threat there after the fall of Singapore by the Japanese down here, and also the fall of Java. And now the Money Islands are in the hands of Japan. Australia, New Zealand is in the hands of Japan. The Philippines is in the hands of Japan. The crown jewel of the Far East, Singapore, is in the hands of Japan. The French Indochina colonies are in the hands of Japan. Hong Kong is in the hands of Japan. And what more awaits them, we'll soon find out. The Far East has been slowly moving all their forces over into the western side of India, even though they know the Russians are there. But I think the Russians got enough on their hands right now, dealing with securing their new southern empire, as well as the Japanese are coming. And obviously that's why the British fleet has come down here as well. Interesting times, interesting times. Still can't believe the French have a victory in this war, and I salute them for that. Congratulations, Admiral Darlan. Wonderful, decisive victory on the joint task force attack with the British. But we have naval supremacy now for the Italians. What will they do next turn? Make sure you check out Panzer J's channel, which probably will be coming up in the next day or two, and we'll see if he decides to break out with Italy or just stay here and rebuild. The Russians were gracious enough to lend-lease a medium bomber down there to help with the assault in Mediterranean. See what chaos the Italians can cause to the world, so that the Russians can expand their empire. The Russians are mobilizing a large force here to attack Turkey, but we are currently getting into position. We have successfully taken the Iraq territories of north and south right there. And as we slowly march on to plan the invasion of Turkey. Up here in the north, the British have postured their fleet with the Prince of Wales in command. Up here in the north of England, near Scotland, next to Scapa Flow, to see what they want to do. They may be posturing an invasion on Norway, or possibly worrying about German naval supremacy now in the Baltic. So we'll have to wait and see. Because the Russians not only have their fleet here, they did lose the Kirov, the heavy cruiser, last turn, unfortunately, but now they have new ships being built. The Sovetski Soyuz in port here, as well as a light carrier, the Borodino, and we can show you that on the build chart. A lot of capital ships now here on the build chart down here, and you can see what's on the menu. And that is it, besides the Americans arriving and the mighty, huge air force that the Germans possess. Jet fighters, fighters, tactical bombers, strategic bombers, even one that the Russians lend-lease to them just to see what havoc they can cause on the British. Force some pressure on the Americans to join in. Forced to see what the Americans will do over here, of course. They are ignoring the South Pacific, and looks like they're building up an invasion force for Japan. They have the Gato class submarine, the Gato, They have two older coastal submarines, S-27 and S-49. They have the Scorpion coming across, as well as the newly commissioned Hammerhead. And these are all Gato-class submarines to possibly strike terror into Japan. And of course, Japan now obviously is aware of this fact. They built two new destroyers, the Usagumo and the Kiyonami, along with the Chikuma, to slowly build the Northern Fleet. But they have the bulk of their Kido Butai in the Palau Islands, ready for a strike. And that's the Kaga, Yamato, and the Musashi, along with the battlecruiser Haruna, plus the bulk of their other Kido Butai, which has the bulk of their fighters, as well as surface vessels here to deal with British assets in the Indian Ocean. So just a quick little update, guys. Hopefully you enjoy these little special updates. I figure they're a little bit of fun. Just gives you a little bit mid-game drama, and we'll see what happens. Look at down here, and you can see Cairo. South Africans and the French, along with the British, are defending that territory. We'll see what the Italians decide to bring to the game. Okay, guys, we'll talk soon, and see you for Panzer J's next turn, and hopefully some more excitement will come.